Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be graphing linear inequalities with two variables. So that means coordinate plane graphing again. So we've learned how to graph lines in coordinate planes before. We're going to pretty much be applying that again. The only difference is we're going to be shading one side of that line because it's an inequality. Remember, there are an infinite number of points that would satisfy that inequality. So we're going to be showing that in the graph. So remember, the quickest way to graph a line with two variables is to solve it for y. You're putting it in slope-intercept form. Now there's just a couple of slight differences with inequalities. With inequalities, our line isn't necessarily solid. Remember how with our number lines we had open and closed circles? Well, with less than and greater than symbols, we're going to have a dashed line. With the other two, less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, those ones are going to be solid lines like normal. Okay, and then we're going to be shading either one half of the line or the other. So our first step is always going to be to solve the inequality for y. So that takes one step on this one. We just have to subtract x from both sides of the inequality. And I like my y to come first, so I'm going to flip these two around and say this is negative x plus 7. Okay, so hopefully you remember how to graph a line. The first thing you look at is this number that's not attached to the x. So this one is first. Remember, this is the y-intercept. So it tells us it's positive 7, so it says go up 7. So we go up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's our first point of our line. The second thing you look at, let me do a different color, is the number in front of the x. Now there's no number, so remember it has an understood 1. So you look at that second and you make it a fraction. It is negative 1. If it's a whole number, it goes over 1. And remember, this is the slope. The top number represents the rise. The bottom number represents the run. So from this point, it says to go down 1 and right 1. So we go down 1 and right 1, down 1 and right 1. We're going to do that a few times to give us a nice line because we're going to be shading this line. You could also go up 1 and left 1. That's the same as going down 1 and right 1. Okay. Now, you want to use some kind of straight edge probably to help you draw that line nice and straight. But don't forget, it's a less than symbol. So that means our line is going to be dashed. It is not a solid line. It is a dashed line. So we're going to draw a dashed line like this. Okay, see how it's not a solid line? It's dashed. And don't forget those arrowheads on the end. Okay, now it walks you through choosing a point and plugging it in. I'll just give you the super actually fast, easy way. Our symbol is less than. So less than, would that be above our line, which would kind of be up here, or below our line, which would be down here? Less than would mean below. So you're going to shade all of this area. And on My Math Lab, there's a little paint bucket. That's how you do it on My Math Lab. You're going to shade it with the paint bucket on My Math Lab. So less than is underneath. You see how this is underneath the line? This would be more above the line. Okay. Let's look at number 2. We'll do it together as well. Okay. First step is going to be to solve your equation, your inequality for y. So we would have to subtract 2x from both sides of the inequality. So I'd have negative y is greater than or equal to, I like my x to come first because that's the correct form, negative 2x, that's a positive 3, so plus 3. Now, this is not quite solved for y. We have to get rid of that negative. So if I change the sign of one thing, I have to change the sign of everything. And remember with inequalities, what we really did is divided by a negative. So that inequality would actually flip around. It would be a less than or equal to symbol. So just like the last one, remember the first thing you look at is the normal number by itself. This number is first. It is the y-intercept. It is a negative 3, so that says to go down 1, 2, 3. So there's your first point. The second thing you look at is the number in front of the x. And if it's not a fraction, you make it a fraction by putting it over 1. Remember, the top number is the rise, the bottom number is the run. That number is the slope. So that says from this point to go up 2 and right 1, up 2 and right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. Do it a lot. Fill up that graph. It's there for a reason. Use it. And then you could also go down 2 and left 1. It's the same as going up 2 and right 1. Okay, now we look at our symbol. This is a solid line, right? Solid. So get out your straight edge and make it a solid line. So that's just a normal line like we've normally drawn. Put the arrowheads on the end, it goes on forever and ever. And then look at your symbol, less than again. So which part would you say is under the line? Because less than would be under. Less than, I think under would be definitely down here. This is under that line. So you shade that, color it in if you want, make it look nice and beautiful if you're a real artist. Look how nice that is. What a nice shading. Yuck. Okay, next one, let's look at it. Okay, first thing I notice is the y is not on the left side of the equation, so the first thing that I would do on this problem is I would rewrite it as 2y on the left, x on the right. Now the pointy part needs to still face the 2y, so it's going to be flipped around also. Okay, how do I get y by itself? Well, I got to get rid of that 2. How do I get rid of that 2? By dividing both sides by 2. So I have y is less than, what's the number in front of the x again? It is a 1, so I have 1 half x. Okay, now I'm ready. The first thing I look at is this number right here, right? Remember, that's the y-intercept. If there's no number over there, what is the understood number? 0 in this case. So my first point is right there on the origin at 0. Doesn't go up or down. Second thing we look at is the slope. That's right. And remember, it's the top number is the rise, the bottom number is the run. So that's telling me to go up 1 and right 2. So from this point, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. Or down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2. Fill up that graph. Don't be afraid. Okay, then always check your symbol. Our symbol this time is going to be a dashed line. So before you draw that line, be careful. So we're going to make this nice and dashed. How nice is that? So nice. Okay, fill in the arrowheads. Now, once again, we have a less than symbol. So that's underneath the line. It's going to be down here again. So any point down here would satisfy that inequality. Okay, number 4. Again, solve it for y. First, you would subtract 5x from both sides of the inequality, So I would have 4y is less than or equal to, I like the x to come first, that's correct form, so it's going to be negative 5x plus 20. Next, divide by 4, which means everything over here has to be divided by 4 as well. So less than or equal to negative 5/4 x plus 5. Nice and easy to graph. What's the first thing you look at? This number is first. That is the y-intercept. I'm on record. I've said it how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 5 is our first point. Second, yep, the slope, the number in front. Slope. Rise over run. Second. Okay. So that's telling me to go down 5 and right 4. Remember, the negative only goes with one of the numbers, one or the other. Remember, a negative slope should be going down from left to right. If you applied it to both, the negative to both, it would be going up from left to right, and that's not right. So from this point, we are supposed to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right. 1, 2, 3, 4. We put our first point. Fill up that graph. Let's go down 5, right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe up 5 and left 4 as well, right? Might as well. Okay, look at your symbol. Is that a dashed line or a solid line? That there is a dashed line. Okay, so we connect our points. Solid line. And arrowheads. And then look at your symbol, less than. Again, underneath the line. Underneath the line would be over in this region, under it. Awesome. One more. If you want to pause the video and try this one, that would be great. Go ahead and do that if you want. We'll compare. Subtract 3x to start. So I have 4y is greater than negative 3x plus 12 when you put that in the correct order. Next, divide each term by 4. Y is greater than negative 3/4 x plus 3. Okay, first thing you look at, this number first. It's the y-intercept. Positive 3 tells me to go up 3. Second thing we look at is the slope, the number in front of the x. Second, it's rise over run. Negative 3/4. Remember, the negative needs to go with one of the numbers, not both of the numbers. That's telling me to go down 1, 2, 3, and right 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, 3, 4. Or up 1, 2, 3, left 1, 2, 3, 4. Or up 1, 2, 3, left 1, 2, 3, 4. Now look at your symbol. That is a dashed line. So we're going to make our line dashed. That one didn't turn out so great. That's okay. Put the arrowheads up above or on the line. Okay, now symbol is greater than. Would greater than be above or below? Greater than would be above. We got our first greater than problem this time. So we're going to shade above the line because it's a greater than symbol. We're looking at that last one always, whatever we solved it for. Okay. That's how you do it. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck on the My Math Lab assignment. Again, reach out if you have questions. I would gladly help you. Y'all have a great day. See you later.